We are live, and I am struggle streaming already. So forgive me for the struggle streaming, but good morning, good afternoon, good day, and good evening. Now, I don't know what time of day it is for you, but for me, it's the good time of day. We're back at it again today, and we're talking about something that's near and dear to my heart. We're talking about a legal subject today, and I am actually going to be waiting for one of our my esteemed colleague to come and chime in here with us. Waiting for Westradamus to did I even drop the link? Okay, it is there. Okay. Man, I'm struggle streaming hard today. But one of the things that we are talking about, I'm not gonna say the thing that we are talking about today, we're talking about self-snitching, and we're talking about a brother that has a issue right now with the self-snitching, and he is in custody because of it, actually been charged because of it. We're talking about YNW Melly. This brother here is having some issues with the whole self-streaming issue, or not self-streaming, the self-snitching issue. I'm having an issue with my streaming today, but we are definitely live. We are here. We are talking with none other than my brother from another. We are talking to Westradamus. How we doing today, Westradamus?
Oh man, I'm doing well. Just give me a couple more minutes. I'm gonna be on camera. Right now I'm driving and
No worries,
of
no worries.
course I don't think you want to get motion sickness by seeing me just drive or seeing an inappropriate angle of me, looking up my nose or because you gotta focus on the road whenever you're driving. So
I hear that. I hear that. Let me share something with everybody while you're getting yourself situated. I want to share some things in regards to YNW Melly, because in talking about people self snitching and trying not to self snitch on yourself, because a lot of we're in a generation where a lot of these youngsters, they are oversharing. It's one of the things I want to talk about as well. But before I get to the oversharing, I'm going to show you some court documents, or not even really even court documents. We're going to look at it from, I'm in Texas, so getting a hold of the totality of all these documents was not something I was going to pay for. So I will say that as well. But let me share my screen here with you and show you exactly what you're looking at whenever you get ready to engage in something along these lines. I guess what I want to show you guys is that there is a lot of stuff uh, court wise that can get you into a lot of trouble, and among them would be also
uh,
be his lyrics to his rap songs. But what you're looking at on my screen right now, what I'm sharing with you guys, is the
real quick, SB. Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, what we're giving to you is something that nobody else is giving to you. We're actually bringing you actual live court documents. That's something that you don't have to look up. We're doing all the legwork for you. So, hey, if you do enjoy the content, please like and subscribe and share the content, please. Also, we like to give this alert. This is a back in my day type alert. Back in my day, this is the type of alert you're getting right now. It's back in my day type of alert. Because back in my day, we didn't self snitch or anything like that. It's like, hey, something happens, we just hush up, or what we do is just be quiet and just go ahead and take the weight.
most definitely, most definitely,
But yes, sorry I had to interrupt. We had to get that alert out there because that is one of those back in my days type situations.
most definitely, because it's one of those things where I talk to a lot of younger people in the younger generation, and it's something that a lot of people have had problems with in the past, but there's like a epidemic at this point of people self snitching, and they're doing it in so many
Oh,
new and novel ways, and probably looking at like, well, these old heads don't know what they're talking about. Well, let me give it to you from a legal standpoint as well. So this is from Broward County. This is where he actually was not only indicted but convicted and sent to prison here for capital homicide. So this is the type of case that he has here that I'm showing you here. This is a capital homicide case. Here's the state reporting number. And in going through this, so the Jamal Damons, that is has a YNW Melly, that is his name. Black male, 5'6", 120 pounds. Barrow Beach is a city here in Florida. And what you're looking at, these are the attorneys that have been involved with the case. Some of them active, some of them removed, some of them no longer there. Excuse me, forgive me for that. Here are the charges that they brought him up on: first-degree murder with a deadly weapon, first-degree murder with a deadly weapon. So he has 2 counts of first-degree murder. So they were definitely trying to get him. So they didn't give you just 1 count; they gave you 2 counts of the same charge. So they tried to catch him twice on it. He has some warrants that were out for him. So here's the 2 warrants that were served up for him in that time frame. So this is all back in 2019. The arrest, when he was actually arrested, the deposition. So this was one as a and plea. So he pled not guilty in both of them, but these were the depositions that were taken. And then we start getting down to the nitty gritty of it. These were the court documents that they processed for him, and you can look at how many documents that were filed in this particular case there in Broward County in regards to Mr. YNW Melly or Mr. Damons, depending on how you want to address him, either by his government name or by his rap moniker. But he has I'm still not done scrolling. These are all the notices and everything else that was filed in trying to get him, and this goes all the way back to 2019 when they were finally able to get him. And then in the last hearing that you had, they had several hearings in regards to the actual case. This is just saying the court dates. These are your hearing dates when they actually had court. But the impressive part here, and the one that's here that's locked, this is the grand jury indictment, ma'am. I guess not only am I having struggles with my stream, I'm having struggles with my tongue. So this is the grand jury indictment here. So that one's obviously going to be sealed. And none of the other documents, like if you actually feel like coming in here and making a purchase, what I should do and what I am going to do, I'm not even going to say what I should do. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to take this and I'm going to link this page here in the comments, and let's see if I can get this up in the comments right now. So anybody else who wants to go in there and go check my work and take a look at what actually was pending or what actually was what we actually dealt with Mr. Melly here, they can take a look at and they can see exactly what it is that we're talking about here. But yeah, this young brother, the interesting part about it, when you're going through these documents and some of the things that we're having, because they had 325 total documents that were filed. Some of them were orders from the court. Some of them are depositions as a notice to file to get a deposition. And there's a lot of legal work going back and forth on it. Testimony, so this is a defendant's motion to preclude opinion testimony. The detective, Christopher Williams, etc. So they had several people that they were trying to exclude their testimony. They have some file transcripts here. So there's some files that were also ordered in this case for the defense in this particular situation. And all of these documents that you're looking at, this whole host of documents, was trying to get him to stay out of jail. And why would he possibly be going to jail? Well, he did this song. And let me pull this up because it's interesting to me here. I'm gonna pull just the lyrics of the song up. So he did a song called "Murder on My Mind." Is a song that he talked about where we talk about self-snitching, and you can a lot of times you can probably, as an attorney, help to get your client off if you say that it's a term of art. This was not anything that was literal. But he gets
and let me interject here.
Go ahead.
This is all started by or popularized by Tupac Shakur. You do something and then you rap about it. And then you're trying to get a big up because you did it. Look how bad I am. Look at what I'm doing. And because he got charged with this crime, this is the reason why the song blew up to the or got as many streams as it's gotten it, because of this crime. So thus is more like I want to say a hubris, so to say, as in art imitating life and life imitating art, which is very sad. And I like to say, just from me, please don't let this be you. Just don't let this be you. Do not go out like this. And another thing, is please watch who you hang around, because the 3 or 4 people that you hang around, your biggest influencers, um, and whatever you consume, this is how you can end like this, and it's very unfortunate. I'm not here condemning this young man, because all these charges are just alleged.
Oh,
All right, he's innocent until proven guilty,
let me take a look.
and
He was actually charged here. Let me make sure that I'm not misspeaking in saying that
yeah,
he was
yeah,
actually charged. And let's take a look. I'm a unshare. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen here briefly, but because I am curious. I thought I read here that he was actually charged and was sentenced. Let me make sure. I don't want to misspeak. So give me 1 minute here.
yeah, because of the charge of murder, the intentional killing of another,
Correct.
and hopefully, because what we have, 4 murders, right? Was it is it intentional murder, intent to do harm, murder, felony murder, and depraved heart? So we have the 4 murders right there. So if he's, the 4 murders and 2 manslaughter, so if he's in one of these murder charges, like, man, that's just unfortunate. Now, and
Yeah.
it's sad. It's
Very.
it really is sad, and uh, I like to take a positive note to this. I always wanted to teach with this. It's because this is the only way that I believe that this is the best way for people to relate to this. It's like, hey, let's show this. Let's show these documents, and you see how. And you said over 300 court documents has been already filed.
Oh yes. Yeah, well,
Yes.
when I really looked at it, I started, and the nice thing about how Florida does it, being here in Texas, I appreciate the fact that they put like a little caveat next to it. Texas, I like how Texas does it as well, but they do it in a way that you can actually see what's actually in the document before you actually go on there to go look at the documentation that they have in there. And I might be wrong. I think I'm wrong. He has not been convicted yet. I said charged. He has not been convicted yet. So they believe his manager saying that they think he'll be home in 2 months. So
I,
I was wrong. So it looks like he is not yet convicted of the crime. So that's a
and
good thing.
what is he charged with? He's charged with murder, right?
Yeah, he has 2 counts of murder that he's charged with. He's
Oh,
also alleged that his mother's lied, and there's a lot of other stuff that's there. But in looking at it, he has there is a lot of cases that are there, a lot of things that he's been charged with, or not. There's only 2 counts of murders he's been charged with, so it should be
here,
interesting. It's going to be interesting.
here, give me one moment. I'm about to do a transition real quick. So
No worries.
please forgive my momentary silence as I transition from getting back on camera.
Yeah, he has the cases against him, or the case against him right now, is something where they're looking at it that as in he has actually they're looking at it as 2 charges of murder against YNW Melly, and saying that he has proven that he killed his 2 friends. So it's interesting as in the regards that he's been charged. He has not been convicted yet. And I was looking at it. I thought that he was convicted, so that was a mistake on my part in looking at this documentation. And no, so he has just been charged, and there's no conviction yet in his case. Let's see. There's a situation where he thought his mother murdered, his mother lied on him, and there's a lot of stuff that's coming that he's talking about at this point in this case. But the issue that he's having is that he is not. I said he's at a point now. I said he's still behind bars. Is the part of the issue? But in being behind bars, one of the issues that he's having here, and I'm going to turn your volume down just a little bit. That way, we're not all in your business as you're getting home. But one of the things that he's dealing with right now is trying to get away from these murder charges. And as I said, as an attorney, you can kind of say this is as a what he said in these rap lyrics, that this is a term of art. This is not real. But they have a lot of evidence at this point. It seems to be piling up against him. If it was the feds, I'd be honest with you, I'd be like, oh, this is pretty much a done deal because they don't come after you unless they actually have something. But the state of Florida, they're not as well. That sounds kind of derogatory, but very few people or very few states are as efficient, I guess is the word I'm looking for, as the Fed. So it's definitely a situation where you're looking at it and you're hoping, or at least I'm hoping, that he didn't do it, and if he didn't do it, I'm hoping that this young man gets off. So I guess there's two hopes in there for me. One is that he didn't do it. The other is that he gets off if he didn't do it. And that's what I'm concerned with right now, is that by putting out certain information that can be used as evidence against you in court. And it's really important to note that a lot of time, let me see, okay, so that's another thing. That was something else that was previous. But a lot of times, sometimes people think that, oh, I can just talk to the cops and we'll get out of this, and it's a misunderstanding or something along those lines. The advice is never, ever, 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 ever talk to the cops without your lawyer present. And even then, you want to be careful on what it is you say and just follow your attorney's advice. Why? And this is something that something to keep in mind. When you get read your Miranda rights, one of the things they tell you is that everything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. And that against you part is really important, because up under the rules of evidence, if you have a party statement or a statement that you make against yourself, they can overcome that hurdle about hearsay. Well, that's hearsay, Your Honor. We got to toss that evidence out. However, everything you say can and will be used to help you is not a part of that. That does come up under hearsay. So you might think, well, I'll just tell them the truth, or I have nothing to hide. I can tell them whatever it is I need to tell them, and we'll be okay because I have nothing to hide. I didn't do anything, and everything's okay. In this situation, or in a situation with the police officers, you don't talk to them at all, period, right? It's not going to help you. That will be hearsay, and they're not going to, that doesn't come in. If it's used against you, yes, they can bring that in, and that overcomes a lot of hurdles as far as the hearsay issues. But you say something and you think, oh, I'll just talk to the cops. I haven't done anything. I'm great. I'm innocent. I didn't do anything. Does not help. So do not ever, 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 ever talk to the cops. Stop oversharing. Stop self-snitching. And we got Westradamus back. How you feeling there, brother?
Hey, peace and blessings to everybody.
Outstanding.
Man, I'm disappointed. I'm just disappointed. It's just another, just a DJ Khaled type thing, another one. And I don't know, is it just a Florida thing where like just the weirdest news stories or the most messed up news stories always come out of Florida for some reason, where this has just, just scratching your head, from the bath salts, homeless guy like eating people's faces off, and to what was that young lady stabbing the guy, stabbing the guy and then trying to say that, hey, I'm mentally ill, that mentally ill, and then think that like the next day she went on another date with somebody. She's trying to vote like the Baker Act,
Are you talking about the white girl who just killed the African, or
yes, that guy? And I'm like, is this just a Florida thing, or is it something that we need to excuse just only in Florida? And I think it might be just a Florida thing. But anywho,
you're right. I say there's a lot of stuff that goes on. I say Florida is an interesting place. If you know anybody that's down there in Florida, you know that's an interesting situation that's down there. Definitely an interesting situation. I'm trying to be as diplomatic as possible in talking about Florida. It is a very interesting place with a very interesting set of interesting set of individuals or people that are down there. Their leanings are interesting. Some of it common sense, some of it not so much. What we got here? We have a comment here. Let me read that up here. My brother's looking good. Thank you very much, Dre. Good to talk to you as well.
Oh yeah, always, always. So I'm reading this, and well, Mr. Demons, he was a part of a group called YNW, and stand for Young Inward World. Okay, so Young Inward World, and then his name, which is so therefore his set is Young YNW.
Right.
And then a part of this whole set, I believe I think there were 4 people in that set, and in there, and you have to understand is whenever you do form any type of group, any dynamic duo, like a Batman and Robin, or any type of a group, anybody in a group type of setting, you have to understand that they're kind of like your competition. You know, like if you're trying to join any gang, okay, you have to understand that hey, these people now you have actually, let's try to say this, put yourself in the same bucket of these people, the same barrel of these people, and then now you're competing for the same resources. And then since you're competing for the same resources, now it becomes a might be hey, this guy over here, he got a little bit more swag than me, and he's actually getting more girls than I am. Or hey, this guy's a better rapper than me, so right now he's getting more money than me. And then jealousy always breeds in groups,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what it is, because ego gets involved. And I believe this might be the case here. And from what I see from a little bit of the statement of facts, is they end up being a setup where they try to stage the bodies like it was a drive-by shooting. Well, when it's your own friends leading you to slaughter, and that's horrible. So whatever it is, like, man, you have to, like, ladies and gentlemen, no matter what age you are, this is a message for anybody. Is no longer watch your back. Please stop saying, hey man, you gotta watch your back. No, you gotta watch your 6. Watch your front.
Well, it's like your 6 is your back, but watching your front.
Yeah. Or then watch your 12 then. Okay, watch your 12 then, because of it's either watch your 6 or however what direction you want to go. But hey, watch your 12, because at the end of the day, is normally the people in front of your face is actually plotting against you, and it's plotting for your downfall, and it's showing, and it's just disappointing, And if it's I know that Mr. Demons and Mr. Henry, Demons YNW Melly, and Mr. Henry Cortland Henry YNW Bortland.
Correct.
Both of them, they were charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. And the main thing in first-degree murder, you have to prove intent.
Mm-hmm.
And did they intend to do it? Was this their goal to do? And knowing what that song was, "Murder on My Mind," I thought you had the lyrics pulled up. Can you read some of those lyrics?
Yeah, let me pull that right back up here. Let me make sure I got it here. Murder on My Mind. Yeah, so it's like get your roll. No, let me put it up here on the screen. Give me 1 minute here. I shouldn't have taken it down. I didn't want to have you guys looking at it. I was trying to see whether or not he was actually convicted or not, and it turns out no, he was not convicted. So get that up here for you.
Yeah, and of course, the statement of facts is showing that Melly Demons, he's the one who's actually accused of firing all the shots.
Correct.
And then Henry, he's the one who drove the bodies in a Jeep SUV. And prior to turning himself in, Melly, he posted an Instagram post, which is taken down now, saying that he tried to to try to proclaim his innocence. You know, say, hey, a couple months ago, I lost my brothers by violence, and now the system wants to find justice.
Correct.
You know, unfortunately, a lot of rumors and lies are being said, but no worries, God is with me and my brother. And you know, I think it's very loosely just to be using God like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, oh, God's with me. You know, like, what do you mean? You just.
I think he should have just kept his mouth shut, if I'm being honest about it. When I read that, like I said, that post, I was like, did your attorney approve that? Just please be quiet.
Yes. I was like, man, all right, if you, right before you get in charge, that, all right, you're going to put a picture of all four of you up. Like, just don't do this and don't say that you're innocent, because of what does a guilty person always do? I'm innocent. I'm innocent. I'm innocent. And then because you have to understand, like if you're talking to the cops, they don't have anything on you. So by you even talk to them, you may be innocent. Just don't talk to them, because of what happens is, hey, you're innocent. Okay, if they whatever it is, okay, if they whatever you're charged with, if they already had enough to charge you and arrest you, they would have already done it.
Yeah.
So what they have to do is so therefore they're waiting on you to incriminate yourself. And then once you incriminate yourself, then that's when you're going to be getting arrested. And it's unfortunate. So as soon as they Mirandize you, you know, what is this? Sixth Amendment, right to counsel, lawyer up immediately. Sixth Amendment is like, hey,
Fifth Amendment coming up.
Yeah, Sixth Amendment.
Yeah, the Fifth Amendment. So I was going to say that when you're dealing with something along those lines, and one thing that I was talking about earlier, and we're talking about like self-snitching, people sit up there, they get out there, they can't. It's like they can't. Ooh, let me tell you what I did. So not only am I looking at the lyrics to the song, like where you talked about yellow tape around the body, it's fucking hot inside, his face is on the t-shirt, his family traumatized, that he didn't mean to shoot him. He just caught me by surprise. I reloaded my pistol, cocked it back, and shot him twice. His body dropped down to the floor, and he got teardrops in his eyes. He grabbed me by my hands. He said he was afraid to die. I told him, it's too late, my friend. It's time to say goodbye. He died in my arms, blood on my shirt. When I say that's just the lyrics to the song, or part of the lyrics to the song. But one of the things that's interesting is that when they Mirandize you, one of the things they always tell you is that anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. What they don't say is anything you say can and will be used to help you in a court of law. And one of the things I was highlighting earlier is that when looking at the rules of evidence, and you're trying to figure out whether or not something qualifies as hearsay or not, one of the things that sometimes you look at is that a statement against a statement that the party's making against themselves, and if they're making a statement against themselves, that's an exception to the hearsay rule. There's no hearsay exceptions that there's a statement that you make that helps you. So trying to overcome that hurdle of, oh, I'll just tell the cops whatever because I'm innocent, and and we can just clear this up right now. Don't do it. Nothing that you tell the cops will come back to help you. Period. Everything that you say to the cops can and will come back to bite you in the behind. Don't do it. Just don't do it.
Number two, hold on. Excuse, I apologize for cutting you off. But number two, when you sliding on somebody, why are you bringing your cell phone with you? Why are you making cell phone calls? Why are you being seen by surveillance footage? And you know that most people have rings, most people have some type of surveillance video around housing and things like that. Why are you doing this? I believe what I seen was in the daytime, and you have your cell phone, and now because you know your cell phone can ping, they can ping your cell phone with your records, and a lot of people don't even turn off like the location. So now what you're doing is now these people are pinging you, and then now it's very hard to lie talking about, oh, I didn't do it, or I wasn't even around the area, when you have your cell phone on you. And clearly you're having a phone conversation while doing it because the people are pulling up your phone records. So it's very, very fundamental and elementary.
Uh,
Just why are you shooting yourself in the foot? And then why are you rapping about it? And then why are you even talking? Like, why don't you just go away?
you know,
This is another one of those back in my day type alerts.
well,
Is back in my day when you did something, you shut up about it and you go missing.
yeah. I say, the funny part about it is, as you're talking about, I had a 10-year career as an IT project manager, right? And it's hilarious to me that many people don't understand how technology works, specifically their cell phones, right? You're carrying a self-snitching device with you. And even if you turn off location, if you can't if you can't physically disconnect the battery, or you can't physically disconnect that information, that component, it's and the way the phones are configured now, you can't remove the batteries and all that stuff because they need power in order to work. You can run a ping, what they call a ping to a device at any time. At any time, you can run what we call a ping on the network to a device. And if you run
Wow.
that ping, I say your phone doesn't even need to be on. They want to know where you're at. And because it's done by the cell phone company, your cell phone provider, it's not something that requires a warrant. It's not a situation where you go like, oh, it's a Fourth Amendment violation of a search. That's a Fourth Amendment search. They need a warrant. They don't need a warrant. It's a third party disclosure doctrine. I had a whole episode about this previously. They have this thing called a Stingray device, and there's another smaller device, but they can sit there and they can track you or anyone else with these Stingray devices, and the cops are able to do it, and you don't even need to give your permission. It's not a warrant information. It has a And everybody wants to take pictures and take their phone with them, and they're gonna go out there and go do some dirt. And it's like, how ignorant can you be? But I shouldn't even say how ignorant. It's the fact that you have no idea of the technology you're taking. You take your vehicle with you, especially these newer vehicles, right? They have GPSs on them, right? And you're in this vehicle with a GPS on it. They don't,
Mm.
again, because it's third party disclosure doctrine. This is not an illegal search. This is not something that they have to go in there and go say, hey, they could just say we're in the middle of an investigation and we want you to turn over this GPS information for this vehicle. Now they got a breadcrumb trail of every place that your vehicle's been. Were you in the area or not? Right. Only thing they might need to get a warrant to sit there and say that they can identify that vehicle. But once they identify the vehicle is yours, all the records for it, they go to the third party provider. They go to your Back in the day, it used to be OnStar back in my day. But as a now, you whether you got a Volkswagen or you got a G Wagon, whatever it is you got, and they got that GPS on it, they can track you with that. If you use the card, most people hopefully you're using but all of those things that you do, those are things where I would say those are voluntary tracking. And a lot of people get in there and they voluntarily do things to track themselves. And it makes it really, really interesting. Let me bring in Dre here with us as well. Uh, let's see, are you there, brother? Can you hear us?
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah, we're talking about this young brother here, YNW Melly. This brother, he sat there, he decided that he wants to sit there and it looks like, or what they're charging him with are 2 counts of murder. So two first degree counts of murder down there in Florida. And he's a hip hop artist, rap artist, and he's made songs about it, and he keeps on talking. And there's this time with, I don't know what it is about this generation and everybody oversharing and they're self-snitching on themselves. And it's like, I'm not condoning murder. I'm not condoning any of those type of things. But if you're gonna sit there and do something that's that brazen, keep your mouth shut. I don't know how you feel about it, but that I'm like, if whatever it is that you just did, there's so many things that this generation that they do at this point, and it's like, brothers, what are you doing? Not just in the fact of why would you do that, but at the same time, if you're gonna do it, why would you do it that way? I don't understand the thought process of snitch or telling on yourself. Why are you? I don't understand it. Maybe you guys can you give us some insight on that there, Dre, or no?
Man, yes, sir. I can. Shout out to Western Diamond. Shout out to my brothers. Shout out to Savior Black. It's always a pleasure. I was actually sitting here doing this paperwork, going through trying to get these White Devils the blues, and so I heard y'all, and I said, let me see if I can add a perspective to the brothers, and you know, should be, brothers, I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. This now, what these guys today are interested in is clout. They don't care about the consequences. It's so important in rap and the hip hop culture to be able to live your lyrics, and so it doesn't matter at the cost. They don't realize that real gangsters have always moved in silence, and it was always important to keep your wrongdoings out the eyesight of the public. But now today with this social media culture, you have to be able to top the next guy. They got one guy, you brothers got to see this. I don't know if y'all familiar with this. Awesome Dre tells no lies. They got a guy who actually was killed in, I believe it was North Carolina, and his dead body is on the stage.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they're partying with the guy. He's dead. This just happened not too long ago. Now, where's your mother? Where's your father? Where is anybody that says that this is but that was his goal. So it's a bunch of fools that's around him, and he's on the stage. His body is dead, and they dressed him up, and that's cool. This is a really fucked up generation, man. Be honest with you, brother.
I'm not understanding. Like I said, and this is where for me, I have to take some kind of responsibility because it's like I have kids. I have kids in this generational age, and I'm like, okay, where did I go wrong at? Where did we as a? Because I have to lump myself in there on as parent. Where did we go wrong at with raising this generation that's up here now? Where
no fathers in the home, SB. No fathers in the home. This is what you get. You don't want black men. You didn't want black men in the home. You wanted us away from y'all. You took the opportunities that was supposed to come to us. Now, 50 years later, I told you, brothers, the bill is due. And now this is what you're looking at. This is what you have a bunch of women who said that we don't need men. Everybody glorifies being a single mother. It's cool to get on TV and, I can do it by myself. I don't need nobody. And then now the fruit, gentlemen, it is time to pay the bill. And that's the part that bill has come due, brothers. And this is what we're living out. Our communities are living it out in real time.
I was gonna say there's two sisters I always think about, like going in line with what you stated here, Awesome Dre. There's a Frances Cress Welsing and Shahrazad Ali. When I think about those two, well, one of them she's an elder, and the other one's now an ancestor. Recently, I shouldn't say recently. That has to be about 5 years now for the ancestor Frances Cress Welsing. But a lot of things that they talked about as far as within the family and the white supremacy and the racism / white supremacy that caused a lot of this stuff, and then us jumping on board and still riding along with that racism, white supremacy, especially with our sisters and our young men at the time. I'm like, not having those men around and looking at what we have now, it hurts me. It hurts me as I look at it, and it really hurts. I'm like, I don't know. I had to take it upon myself also that evidently maybe I didn't do enough, and that's kind of, I guess, my mea culpa at this point is trying to do more so that I can try and see if I can salvage some of this for our generation, these young black brothers. Go ahead. I'm sorry. What were we saying?
Are there other steps that could have been taken? Yes. But you see, the truth of the matter is a lot of black men were forced into this position because you got to remember as well, you can't even put your hands on your child anymore. So when the system get their hands on them, white devils gonna do whatever the fuck they want to do. See, they don't care about. You see, they don't care about your son or your daughter when they're down there in the court system. But when you discipline your child for poor behavior, men's job is to bring order and correction, and nobody wanted that. They didn't want a black man bringing that. You didn't want that. You don't want to listen. And now you caught in a situation where instead of you admitting, you know what? Maybe we need to rethink this. Maybe our role, maybe a black man's role is much more than what he can provide financially, or the fact that he can just get me pregnant.
Well, they know what your role is, and here's why I don't know. As a maybe you want to jump in on this as well, West Dominus, but I'm looking at it as they know what your role is. I've had a personal. This is me personally. This is the anecdotal on myself dealing with CPS. My child calling in the CPS getting involved in the family and everything, and they're talking about, oh, as a you use corporal punishment, we can't have you doing that. Da, 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 da. Long story short, I'm like, okay, so now we got to get into this parenting plan, and they have my daughter and all this other stuff. And now she's starting to act. She's acting up in school. She gets caught with drugs in school, and now they're calling me up, and they're going, "We need you to get down there and go take care of this." Sure enough, I said no. I said, "You guys said y'all had it. When I was down there, you guys told me no. You guys told her she didn't have to. You told her she didn't have to listen to me. You told me that these were things that you didn't really need." And I look at that and I go like, yeah, nah. As I so I'm looking at like a brother like YNW Melly. I'm like, maybe he might have the same thing where it's like, kids ain't stupid. They know all they have to do is sit there. And they get told every day, just sit there and talk to CPS. And then it's like, you do your role. All the other kids fine. They make sure that this. I'm like, okay, we good. That's it. Yeah, it's like, and then they get mad, like, no. What we didn't say. I'm like, no. That's exactly what you said. But
tell you what to do in your house. Let me go ahead, West Dominus.
Well, as I see it, this is like this is reason why this is the downfall of masculinity. And when we don't have masculinity, we get things like this. I just want to just go down YNW's Mr. Demon's criminal history, right? Back in 2015, I said police said he fired a gun at a group of people during a dispute near his high school, right? And he was a 16-year-old freshman at the time. At 17, he was charged with fleeing from deputies who attempted a traffic stop near Indian River Mall. If you're from the area, he was tackled after hopping out of his vehicle and fleeing on foot. With that arrest, another 2017, Demons was arrested on a weapons charge at a traffic stop. Deputies reported finding a loaded 9mm pistol with a laser attachment beneath his feet, and a 40 caliber Glock with extended magazine in the glove compartment right there. An arm's reach doctrine. All right. Also, next, state troopers arrested Demons, Henry, and Williams in 2018 after finding 3 Glock handguns and large containers filled with marijuana in an SUV south of Fort Myers. In January 2019, Demons pled no guilty to possession of marijuana and drug paraphernalia and received a 25-day jail sentence. This young man's been very troubled, and I believe that he's seeing a image on TV and he's portraying that image. And just like with other people that we discussed on this channel, it just seems like where's the guidance? Where's the male influence here? Where's the masculine? It seems like he's just trying to play to his friends.
Yeah.
So it's rather unfortunate, and it seems like just a critique in our culture. It just seems like it's just a lack of masculinity. It's not, and there's a lot of toxic femininity here. It's like who wants that kind of attention? Like from the police, like who does that? Who wants I want to keep on getting involved with the police? I understand the police are the only people who want you for you. I get it. Jail and prison are the only people who want you for you being you, stealing whatever, and they will lock you up and make money off you. And for this gentleman, I think, just because he's famous and now other people want to try to emulate him, and it's unfortunately because I did hear some other people making songs, just like him, and remember, hey, this guy's on, Power 106, hey, the Breakfast Club, matter of fact, he's releasing songs out with Kanye West.
Yes.
So this gentleman, he has charting music. So he has so much, what was it, XXX Tentacion? It seems like another one of him.
Oh, you talking
You
about
know,
that dude? Yeah.
yeah, you know, like that's what I'm saying. Is it like? Can y'all tell me? Is it like a Florida thing, or you know, or is it just all these rappers just going for clout and things like that, and then and then you're going to do a music video with it with Murder on My Mind, and you have to understand, you know, about forensics and people. What they do is, they look at these bullet trajectories and things like that, and whatever you're saying, they're going to try to see if that stuff's going to match up. You know, you talk about, hey, it's a drive-by, but really the gun trajectory is from the front seat to the back seat. You know, it just it's horrible. You know, Murder on My Mind, his song, it did reach #1 on US Apple Music back in 2019, and then I know that he released a documentary, just trying to get a inmate life. You know, so therefore I'm seeing this little lot of marketing for, you know, black youth. Like, hey, it's cool to go to jail. You know, and one of the very first people to do that was Tupac. You know, in his interview from jail. You know, and because he's glorifying the thug life culture and things like that. You know, and um, and I feel like this is just a continuation of that thug life culture. Is just now a new person is it's the same game but new name, who's actually perpetuating this stuff, and is really leading people. It really is leading people down a horrible path, you know, and think about all that money that he has now, because you know Merlin's Mind went double platinum, you know, so it's no, so it's paying for his legal fees and things like that, and you know, it's just unfortunate that this happened. How somebody can let an ego get in the way, and there's nobody else just to counterbalance that, or because it falls in with toxic femininity. You know, it's like, let him go do what he wants to do. You know,
No
instead of,
consequence.
yes, exactly. You know, and it's just horrible. I know. I will go ahead and yield to.
No, I agree. I say so. You talk about the toxic femininity. I'm going to go back to Frances Cress Welsing. One of the things she talked about is the racism, white supremacy, and the fact that we have a whole system that's devised to take black men out of the home, out of the household. And she
Yes.
talked about the fact that not only do we have a whole system that's devised to take black men out of the household, but now that you have black women doing a job that was never intended to be their job in the first place, right? So the system is geared in order to break the black family. And so now what we have is what you're talking about right now. You have these young black brothers coming on up, and they don't have the guidance necessary growing up. The black women are doing the best they can, but the best they can is never going to raise a man, right? That's what you're dealing with at this point. They it's like they teach them, they tell them that, okay, the value system is money. That is your new value system. The value system is economics, and we're going to take black men out, and we're going to say that black men, we're going to deny them jobs. So now they don't have money. And so what you're looking for, these are not considered men anymore. Right. And there's this whole cycle that they go through, this process of making sure that they keep a division between, because there's no, then they tell you this false dichotomy of no resources, where we know for a fact that there's enough resources for everybody 2 times over on the planet, but we pretend like there isn't. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just co-signing.
Oh yeah,
okay. Well, real quick, just to go, just to break in here. So for people who don't know, I just want to just break down like what actually happened. All right, and then after that, we're gonna get back into the family and things like that. People want to see really what happened. So Henry, YNW Cortland, he was actually driving, you know, and Melly, he was actually in the back seat behind Henry, right? So Henry's driving, he's in the driver's side passenger seat. All right, and then the 2 victims, they're in the right front passenger and the rear rear passenger, and that's when Melly actually fired. So when you look at the trajectory, it's from the back seat. It's not from outside. They did not find a shell casing outside the car, and that's how when they use those forensics, that's how they went back to, hey, who was the shooter? And you have to understand what conspiracy is to more people trying to pull off whatever crime it is. And of course, Henry had to be in on it. Melly had to be in on it, and they end up killing the other two. And it's very unfortunate. Yield back the floor.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you providing that additional information on that case, because as you're looking at it, like I said, they hold out people like YNW Melly. He has money, like you said, the clout chasing and everything that both of you brothers pointed out for us. And everybody's looking at them as if they're the role models, and the reality is that they're not. They're not the role models. They're engaged in self-snitching. And I'm not trying to tear down young brothers, because I know that a lot of them probably just don't know. But I do want to say, while a lot of them might not know, now that I say, hopefully, as we're talking about it, you get to know that what they're doing is not what should be held out as the pinnacle of what it is that you're trying to achieve. It's not just about the money, and it's not just about those different aspects that they keep on pushing. The things that the money can give you, the value system should be, and this is my personal opinion, the value system needs to be the upbuilding and trying to overthrow the racism, white supremacy that we deal with on a day basis. So if you're dealing with that, if you're going in with it from that standpoint, and you understand that they're handicapping you, right? The game has a understanding, like I always make the analogy on understanding what the game is, or understanding as if somebody's able to get to you, that it's not that they just got lucky. Try and see if you can devise what it is they're doing in order for them to get over. And once you're able to actually identify that, then you can come up with a plan of action on how to attack that as well, to make sure that you're not susceptible to it in the future. And we keep on just going for the money. They hold out something shiny in front of you. It's like, oh, sparkles. And everybody's going out that way. So it's not that the brothers are bad. I don't want to say that they're bad brothers or that they don't know. But if you're ignorant about something, don't follow another ignorant person. Right. Yes. And I'm not trying to denigrate the brother, but I'm just saying that if they're giving you a playbook, and you're looking at the playbook and the plays aren't working, don't continue going with that playbook. That's where I'm just going to come at it from.
But one of his playbooks is a marketing tactic, because he did at the height of when he was first being charged back in 19, he did drop an album called Melly versus Melvin. So is this a marketing tactic? So, oh, I can get more money. Hey, if I do these things, and after that, here, let me drop an album while I'm being incarcerated, and then hopefully I can try to beat these charges, because hey, I have enough money to try to beat the charges, and then when I get out, I can make more money. Or will it turn into a Tekashi 6ix9ine situation? So it's this, but yeah, but this self-snitching stuff is.
Guys, not tough to stand up under these charges. It's coming.
The funny part, who does stand up under all charges, who keeps their mouth shut and knows how to keep their mouth shut?
Who does? Yes,
the police know how to keep.
Oh yeah, they got that blue wall of silence, a mother, ain't it?
And it's hilarious to me, because everybody goes like, "Oh, well, I don't talk in the public," and they get in there, they start squealing like a little pig when you get them in there. But the police, they talk. We call them the pigs, but them boys, that blue wall of silence, they muzzle up, lawyer up. They
got the best lawyers in the listen. They got the best lawyers coaching them. And y'all want to know what's crazy, fellas? Like they basically give you dumbass niggas a get out of jail free card and how to get away with crimes, because they tell you on every TV show what caught a guy up. Y'all brothers done seen it. We got you by this. This is how we got this. This is how this guy got caught. So all you got to do is just pay attention. But you know what though? You more interested in being clout. You wanted to be popular. Okay, now you popular.
Oh.
SBM say it's despicable to me. It's despicable to me that we continue to glorify the dumbest shit on the planet. We the only culture that glorify rappers and a motherfucker who can sing. Every other community glorifies businessmen. They don't even glorify the politicians. They glorify the businessmen. But we run around worried about Let me calm down. My
It's
head.
all right. It's all right. I tell you, brothers, because what I want to talk about tomorrow, and if you guys want to come on, and I like you, I said I'm gonna need to figure out how I'm gonna get your get your email address, Dre, because I want to share some stuff with you before we come on tomorrow. But I want to talk about green flags tomorrow. So
also, Dre, can I get it to you? It's AWESUMDRE. Westradamus. That's for you too, because I was gonna ask y'all brothers about y'all email addresses too, because I want to be able to communicate with you, brother. Yeah. AWESUMDRE@gmail.com. Just like my name. That's it.
The best way to reach me is the Westradamus on Instagram. That is the best way.
V Westradamus. Okay, I can remember that.
THE.
THE.
Yeah, the Westradamus. The Westradamus. Yeah, and yeah, go ahead. Everybody's listening. Hey, go ahead and give me a follow. You know,
there we go.
I appreciate it. Hey, I appreciate it.
And let me tell you, and let me give you, brother, something else. Let's not act like the government is not complicit in what's going on here. This Second Amendment that they continue to hide behind, allowing these high-powered magazine weapons out here on these streets that are going unregulated and unchecked. This is the only country that has the gun violence, alcohol, cigarettes, and tobacco. They don't care nothing about none of that shit. But as soon as a black man got some crack in his hand, you're getting 20 years. But anything that's grown right here in the good old US of A, the stuff that has really killed more Americans than anything combined, they do nothing to regulate. Let's not act like they're not complicit.
Oh no, they definitely know what they're doing. They definitely know what they're doing. And I hate saying doing this to you, brothers, but I have a hard stop at 9. So I'm definitely got to get off here. But I want to tell you, brothers, I appreciate you guys coming on. Tomorrow is going to be green flags. I have actually it'll be out tonight. So it has the YouTube premiere stuff will be out tonight for green flags, and then we have another subject that we'll be talking about. But I'm going to get in contact with you. I have your email address. You're going to get mine the moment I send you something from my email address, so you'll know exactly. So look for that here shortly. All right,
black man, y'all the best.
All right, much love.
Y'all enjoy y'all evening. Be safe.
All right, as a Westradamus, and I know I haven't told you guys before, but I love y'all. Have a great evening, and may you always, always, always be blessed with peace. And we are out. I'll talk.
So be it.
So be it.